What is going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode. We're opening up another podcast to talk about our favorite team and, of course, getting prepared for the 2024 offseason for the Arizona Cardinals. Of course, I'm joined by my good buddy here, Mythic AZ, man. What are you doing? How are you doing on this beautiful Friday? You might be muted.
Of course I am. I was definitely muted. That's the second time I believe that's happened. So,
All good.
I mean, it's Friday, man. You can't complain. End of the week. Feeling fantastic. How are you feeling? How's everyone in the chat feeling?
Yeah, I can't speak for the chat, but for myself, I'm doing pretty darn good myself. And obviously one more game, and we made it to the sweet victory of the offseason, which we can kind of obviously a lot of Cardinal fans are excited about because we got the free agency pool, and we also got the mock draft season where we can kind of dissect and we can do our own mock draft. So in this video, we're going to dive a little into Seahawks versus Cardinals, just a little bit. We're going to talk about one player that we would love to get from this free agents poll, which is going to be projected, right? We don't know if they're going to be re-signing with their teams, but we're going to pick one player each, and then we're going to be also be diving into my mock draft 1.0. So we're going to have Mythic dissect it as well as you guys here in the chat as well. And I'll give you my mind process in terms of why I picked the guys that I picked. So let's first dive into Cardinals versus Seahawks, because let's be honest, this is going to be our last game here of the season. And I know we talked a little bit about it on Wednesday, and we both were kind of like, I don't know if we want to win. We want to win. We want to be competitive, but we don't know. What are your thoughts? What are your final thoughts on Cardinals versus Seahawks? Do you want to win after all?
It's tough. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm so split that it doesn't matter to me. Like, it really doesn't. Like, whatever happens, I'm fine with. Like, if we end up dropping to 7, then we have an alternate route to go. I think preferably I would love to stay at 4. 4 is a spot where I'm most comfortable because Marvin Harrison seems like realistic. But if you drop past 7, then I don't know. It's not feeling good. But either way, I'm not complaining. I'd probably lean a little more towards losing this game. I'm not going to lie. People are saying win for the culture, but I'm saying, 4 gives you a best chance to land Marvin Harrison. This is a guy that seems pretty consensus that a lot of Arizona Cardinals fans want, myself included. So I would say probably lose, drop to 4. Are you feeling the same way, or are you teeter-tottering as well?
I was teeter-tottering. I think now that I kind of had a couple days to really think about it, to be honest with you, like now that I kind of did the math here, or I guess not the math, but like finding out like where we would be at, we wouldn't fall like past 7. So that to me isn't bad. And I get it. There's going to be some Cardinal fans that are literally thinking Marvin Harrison Jr. a bust. And then there's Cardinal fans that are not thinking that way. And I think you're really going to have to ask that specific player or that specific fan to see like where they're really feeling. But like me, honestly, if we're at 7 or anywhere below, I wouldn't be mad at it. Honestly, because I don't think it's Marvin Harrison Jr. or bust personally. To me, I actually kind of do want to win now. I feel like it would be cool to spoil the dreams of a Seattle Seahawk fan and the Seattle Seahawk, I guess, just fan base in general. I think that would be really, really cool to kind of go in there and get a W. Now, obviously, if we were competitive and we lose, I'm not going to be mad because it's one of those things where it's like, hey, it's a win-win for us, right? It's a win-win for the Arizona Cardinals organization because we're probably 4 or better. Or if we do win, then we stuck it to a division rival that was probably looking past us because of our record. So honestly, I think I want to win. I think I want to win. I'm not. Are we going to win? I don't know. That's the biggest question out there. But do I want to win? I think I do. I'm leaning towards yes than no now.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I'm teeter-tottering either way. Like, whatever happens, I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. Because, like, there are prospects out there. It's just Marvin Harrison just it fits so perfect in my eyes. And, like, just for sure generational talent. Yeah. But, you can't complain. If we can pick up a wide receiver in the back end, too, I won't be mad. Maybe get a tackle at 4 or 7, wherever we're slotted. Probably Joe Alt. Makes sense at number 7. Olu going, like, top 6 makes sense as well. So, it'd probably be Joe Alt with that pick, and then who knows? Maybe we trade up, stay pat. Who knows? A lot can happen in that first round. So whether what happens, win or loss, I don't think I'm going to complain.
No, I 100% agree. And I think one thing I think we can both agree on is the fact that, or we don't see them on here, but the Texans, we need the Texans to lose, darn it, because we need that pick to get better than where it's standing at right now. And it's the 17th overall spot in the NFL draft, which isn't bad, but like, obviously I would rather have it in the top 15, maybe even heck, top 13, just kind of really depending on where it falls. I'm not even sure where it would fall below. I guess I haven't get a chance to do quick research, but I do want them to lose regardless, because that would only help out the Arizona Cardinals.
Exactly. And it's so crazy just how everything plays out. We kind of dove in last time, but like we can jump to 2, we can drop to 7. Just like a lot of things are still here. And then the Texans, I'm pretty sure, can make the playoffs. So their pick can go like insanely high, especially if they start rallying off wins in the playoffs. Pretty sure it's a win-in game for the Colts and Texans.
Yeah.
Whoever wins the game is in. So,
And that's the thing too. The Seahawks can beat us,
and
but
still not make it.
and still not make it exactly at the end of the day, which is still sweet to us. You know what I mean? Because I think it's the Green Bay Packers playing against the Bears, which I got to give respect to the Bears. I was really, really low on them, and good for Justin Fields and what he's doing with that organization. Now, there's still that fan base is double the amount of split that we are. Because we kind of all quieted down. We're like, okay, that's fine. You know, it is what it is. But that fan base is going neck and neck at each other, because if you're the first overall, there's so many questions. There's so many scenarios of you getting Caleb Williams. So it's really a spot that I don't envy. I remember being first overall, and it was so stressful. I'm not going to lie to you. It was stressful.
It was, you just couldn't avoid it. It was always there.
Yeah.
And you're in a position. So, I mean, they're in a way better position than we are. Like, they have the pick. So, I don't know. Even if Justin Fields wins this game, it's like his future's not secured. Like,
crazy.
And he's rallied up wins.
Let's dive into free agency real quick. We talked about Seahawks versus Cardinals. I want to ask you, Mythic, if there's one player that you would want in this year's projected free agency class, because let's be honest, we don't know. We don't know if they're going to be signing with their team or not. But if I'm going to ask you, what is one player that you would love to bring to the Arizona Cardinals organization, regardless of the price tag, who do you want to be in a Cardinal uniform next year? One player.
I think it's pretty easy for me. Okay. I don't know how realistic it is, but he is set to hit free agency, and it's Jalen Johnson. We need help at corner so bad. So bad. And Jalen Johnson is a stud. And it's not like a system corner like J.C. Jackson where I'm going to whiff on this and he's just going to come to the Cardinals and stink it up. Right. You know, he's a Pro Bowler this year. Jalen Johnson has been fantastic for Chicago. Their best corner by far. And like I said, a Pro Bowler. If he comes to Arizona and we can actually get help in the secondary and solidify the cornerback 1 spot, it's going to cost a lot. Wow. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's been consensus Jalen Johnson. I don't know how realistic it is, though, just because I feel like he's going to go back to Chicago or they're going to franchise tag him. Just something's going to happen to bring him back to Chicago. I don't think they're going to let him walk out the door. But if possible, that's the guy.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. To me, I think it would be easy for me to say a wide receiver, right? What? Because we've been talking about it a lot. We're like, oh, at least me. I'm not going to put you in there, but me, I'm like T. Higgins, or Pittman, right? I think in the grand scheme of things, obviously the Cardinals have a lot of needs. But if there's one person that I would like the Cardinals to spend money on, I would say, and I think he just went through an injury not too long ago. But DJ Reader is a guy that I really like a lot. Interior defensive lineman. A guy that stops the run, has no fear to kind of go in there and just stop the run. That's kind of who I would like the Arizona Cardinals to kind of go after in terms of there's one player. Now, like you said earlier, I don't know if it's attainable, but I feel like that would be a really good pickup here for the Arizona Cardinals if they choose to solidify that interior defensive line. He's still 29 years old, and I get it. There might be a level of, he's up there in age, and I get that. But if he's still productive, kind of like, a guy that we both love, Calais Campbell, I don't mind throwing money his way, but it all just kind of depends, right? In terms of what Monty Ossenfort truly feels about him. And if he's actually going to give us his all, because last thing I want is another Suggs. I don't want somebody coming in here and try to collect the check and just kind of bounce out. I don't think DJ Reader is going to be one of those guys, but at the end of the day, I don't really know these guys personally. I just know the names and what the production is. And I would love for somebody to be up in the middle and stop runs for the Arizona Cardinals to kind of not wait for the middle linebackers to do anything, but basically stop it at the line. And I feel like that would be a really huge pickup for the Cardinals.
That could be solid. Like you said, though, the age is the only thing with DJ that kind of teeter-totters me on that, because he's 29.
Yeah.
And you don't know where the production's going to go. And say you sign him to a 3-year deal. Let's say next year he balls out. The next 2 he could be horrible and the contract is bad. So that's the scary part. But I don't know. He has been productive this season. He's been really solid. It's just the age. That's what's scary.
I 100% agree. Now somebody in the chat here saying Brian Burns.
I
Honestly,
wish.
that was gonna be where my mind was gonna go as well. But I just saw his projected price tag, and I get it. If you're gonna be getting a guy like that, you're gonna have to fork money over. And I'm not complaining about his price tag or anything like that, but that is a lot of quiche. It's projected to be 5 years, over $100 million, and I think averaging about $21.7 million a year. Do you think right now the Cardinals are in a stance to pay that much money, in your opinion? For
I
Brian Burns?
think we are in a stance to do it, but I don't think we will.
I
I
like
think we're
that.
gonna stay away from that
Yeah.
with all due respect, because regardless how good he is, I don't think allocating 120 something $1 million to one player right now is the direction that we should head. Instead, just build the team through the draft, keep players under young contracts, and go get a free agent here or there. Go get two good players or somebody who you like genuinely believe is going to make an impact.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think if you're playing Madden, and every year is a Super Bowl run, right? In terms because you could keep restarting these games and whatever you want to do. That that
Right.
that sounds pretty, but I think of kind of where we are at right now as an organization. I don't think Montiel Sfort is going to have a big contract like that. We might have a 3-year deal, maybe $50 million. I could see something like that, especially if it's a player that maybe is 27, 29, maybe not 29, maybe a kind of bit more off than I can chew there with DJ Reader, but I like him as a player, but like 25, 26, 27 years old, something like that. I could see us paying for people, but maybe not Brian Burns caliber, if I can be honest.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes so much sense. I don't even know where he's going to go if it's not Carolina. Carolina has so much money that if they don't retain him, I'm going to be kind of shocked.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, but when you're thinking about Brian, is Brian Burns going after the money? And let's be honest, right? Most people are going to go after the money, but or does he want to go to a contending team? We've heard rumors about him trying to get out of Carolina. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he might land somewhere else that's going to be paying him a little less than what Carolina can. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely, got to wait and see.
We had a really good comment here in the chat on the YouTube chat. They asked this: do you think we should re-sign Michael Carter? What are your thoughts?
Is he a free agent?
I was just going to look up his contract right now because I know when we get him on waivers, we kind of have to
I think he was
get.
on a 1 year.
Yeah, I think he's on a 1 year for 2024, technically. So when we got him for 2023, his cap hit was like $400,000. And then in 2024, his cap hit is about 1 million. So I think technically we still have him for 1 more year, technically.
Okay, I was about to say keep him.
Yeah,
Whatever. Just make sure he's back, not super insane. So I like the fact he's back on a 1 year contract. I feel
he's
like he
not
fits.
bad.
I feel like he fits. And
I
maybe you can
agree.
still draft a running back, maybe just depending.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends how the board falls, man. Running backs aren't super coveted anymore. So maybe a talent falls in the third round where we have 3 picks and you can allocate one because James Conner, very productive right now. Is he going to be productive in 1 or 2 years? Because we saw Derrick Henry take a step back, and obviously his workload is way higher than James Conner, but
Yeah.
both bruising running backs, both very physical. So, I mean, declines happen
Yeah.
at 29, 30.
Let's,
So,
now that you said that, I want to do something different here on this Friday. Obviously, this is the last week before we have a game. Big shout out to the people that are currently here in the chat, by the way. I want to take a look here at my 1.0 mock draft. And I want to let you guys know what my mind process was in terms of why I picked the players that I did. So first, before everybody in the chat murders me or dissects me, I want you to do that first, that they can kind of take a look here at the position. Maybe you don't know the players per se, and I'll give you an understanding in terms of why I picked the players that I did. But I want you to kind of look at it and say, hey, this is, I would do this, I would do this, or, blah, 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 blah. Or I don't know, I don't think this guy would fall this far, like kind of that, right? But let's be honest, a lot of these mock draft simulators, you're just drafting who falls to you at the end of the day.
right.
So my 1.0 mock draft has been released. I put it out on Twitter. I put it on all my social medias, and I want to kind of share it with you guys. And this is it right here. So I did a 3-round mock draft, and yes, it's more than 3 players because we have a crap ton of picks. But this is what we're looking at right now. So the number 4th overall, Marvin Harrison Jr., 17th overall, Jahan Newton. And then we got Tyler Guyton. We also got DJ James, Blake Corum, and then Zach Frazier. So let me know just real quick. You can look at positions, you can look at schools, whatever you want to do. Tell me what you like, what you don't like.
I love the first 4 picks and where they're allocated.
Okay.
Even the 5th round pick. I mean, I think there's better running backs in this draft than Blake Corum, but obviously I don't know who was all available
Yeah,
or
true.
per se. But I don't think Newton's going to fall to 17. I
Yeah,
think he'll go top 13.
yeah,
But if he falls to 17, no
no
brainer.
brainer.
No
Mhm.
brainer. Marvin Harrison at 4. Don't know how that's going to fall, but
Yeah.
love that pick a lot, a lot. And then obviously, if you can go get somebody to replace DJ Humphries, Tyler Guyton, solid pick for sure.
Yeah. So I got a lot of feedback on the social medias because obviously Instagram, Twitter, a lot of stuff. One of the biggest things was what you said. Newton probably won't fall that far. And then we don't need a running back is the main things we got. And I heard another one that said, why are you going to get a offensive tackle that high? We got DJ Humphries. And I was like, he just tore something. Like he might be missing like the first half or the first part of the season. We don't know. We don't know exactly when he's going to come back. So that's kind of why I did it. So this is kind of the way it shakes out. Now, please keep in mind that if the Cardinals do win in this game, this whole thing is kind of trashed
Shocked.
because we're not picking at 4. We don't know about 17. 35 is probably not going to be attainable either. So please keep in mind that this is based off of this Thursday when I did it. So this is my mind process. Now, this was weird the way that this mock draft shook out because the first 3 picks was a shock to me. There was a offensive tackle. I think it was Olu Fashanu who ended up going. I don't know if it was 2 or 3. So that's really weird. And I was like, that probably won't happen in real life. But if like Marvin Harrison Jr. falls too, obviously you got to take him, right? So I think we both can
Oh
agree
yeah.
with that. Newton, I agree. It was pretty weird that he fell to 17, but if he does, boom, you got to take him. Tyler Guyton it is going to be a guy that he's listed as a number day 1 starter, and he has played right tackle and left tackle out of Oklahoma. So that's why I took him. And because DJ Humphries, we don't know if DJ Humphries is going to be available in the beginning of the season. So I kind of feel like that would be cool. Even if we moved Paris Johnson back to left and we moved Tyler Guyton to right, I feel like that would be kind of cool. DJ James, that's going to be obviously a need for the cornerback because we need help. Now, Blake Corum, this is one of them that I did get a lot of feedback on. To me, Blake Corum was kind of I guess a shot in the dark, but like this man's production in Michigan, and I get it. Michigan's a good team, and he might be
Yeah.
benefiting because of his team. But this man's got over 1,100 yards, 25 touchdowns. Now, his big concern to me is his height, 5'8", 213. But this guy's built like a tank. You know what I mean? He's small, but he's kind of like built like a tank. So Blake Corum, that he had 25 touchdowns, I kind of want that production. I feel like if we even get like 6 or 5 or 7 touchdowns from him, that would be cool. Now, I like our running back position right now, but you said it, James Conner. We don't know if James Conner is going to be available or healthy throughout the entirety of the year. He hasn't given us a full healthy year since we gotten him. We love him. He's a great running back, but maybe we should start looking for the future. And I like Marco Carter. He's going to be back for 1 more year, but if we can get an explosive guy like Blake Corum, I feel like that would be kind of cool. And obviously Zach Frazier is just giving us another depth in the interior offensive line. So what are your thoughts on Blake Corum? Did I sell you? Do you not really know him about him too much, or what are your thoughts?
I know Blake Corum. It's just, I don't know. Very iffy on the player. I feel like there are better fits in this draft for the Cardinals. And I don't know. Just the way we're trying to out physical teams, I don't know if someone like Blake Corum is necessarily the pick for us. But you never know. So I don't know. Maybe that pick is better allocated somewhere else. Maybe like an interior lineman or a defensive player. I don't know how the board fell.
Yeah, no,
so I'm not entirely sure. But I like the idea of taking a running back maybe in like round 4 because I feel like there is going to be talent falling in this draft, especially at the running back position, just because of how unwilling people are to take them, especially in the first round. And is there really a first round running back in this draft, like a Bijan Robinson or a Saquon Barkley? I'm not sure.
I don't think there is.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, and even if there was one that was like at least second, like you're right. I think a lot of people are afraid because like look at Bijan Robinson. Now, I don't think it's all Bijan. I don't think it's all him, man, or Bijan or however he say his name. I don't think it's all him. It's that Atlanta Falcons team just doesn't know how to use their weapons. Like it's so wild to see Tyler Algier, their second string running, getting more production than a Bijan Robinson. Like it's just so wild to see it.
Absolutely.
So, okay. I think we could both agree that running back is somewhat of a need, right?
It's definitely something you need to be like aware of. And if it's not addressed in this draft, then it needs to be addressed in another one.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. It's very interesting. It depends how the draft falls. And then if there's someone at like back end of round 3, maybe beginning of 4, then potentially. But like this guy might be a running back 3 that we select. So is it that big of a need right now? Possibly not, because there's probably a free agent that can give us decent production somewhere if
Okay.
James Conner ends up going down and then Michael Carter can elevate. But I don't know. I feel like it's very hit or miss, and depending
Yeah.
on how the draft falls, I feel like we're really gonna go big time on defensive line and offensive
The
line.
trenches.
I feel like Monty Austin is gonna go crazy
I wouldn't mind
with
that.
with both lines. So obviously, I'm not Monty Austin but I feel like it's
Right.
gonna be one receiver and a crap ton, maybe a corner, and then a crap ton of linemen. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
That's fair. We got my guy Cardinals are beta saying Blake Corum gives James Conner vibes. Now he's 5'8". I think James Conner's over 6 foot. But the thing is that his run style, his run play is just like he finds the holes. He's not the fastest guy out there, but like the way he's twitchy, but also kind of aggressive at the same time. That's one thing that I really, really like about him. We'll wait and see, right? We'll wait and see to see if he's even a top pick, because let's be honest, if his team goes and wins a championship, because I think Michigan's still in it. Yeah, I think they are.
There.
He is definitely going to go up draft boards. I don't think he's going to be top. I don't think he's going to be a second rounder, because I think you're right. I think the running back position has been so devalued that a lot of people were like, oh, fourth, fifth rounder. But like, I don't know, something about Blake Corum, just the way he plays. I don't know, man. I think I got to do a deep dive on him, and maybe I'll make a video here on my channel about this guy, because I think I like what he is. I like what he does, and we'll see.
Yeah,
All
he's
right.
definitely solid, and he plays for a team that's winning. So
Yeah.
if he wins this, and his stock is probably going to go up second, third round.
What are your thoughts on this? Roma Dunze are a Cardinal. Wait, Bears are going to take Marvin. Wait, I saw a different comment here. I think it's also from the same guy. Oh, here it is. I don't know why, but I think Romo's going to be better than Marvin.
I said it. I think it's going to be 1A, 1B. Regardless, I don't think you're going to miss on either selection. I really don't. And then Malik Neighbors, I'm still iffy on.
Yeah.
He could be solid. He could be good, and I could be wrong. I need to watch more tape on him, but Rome just always seems like he's wide open. And
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison's playing with not a fantastic quarterback.
True.
So his production is going to go up in a scheme where he's targeted and also where he has a good quarterback who can actually get him the ball way more accurately. And he's putting up numbers in college. Both have very similar numbers. Rome is still going, though, playing in the Natty.
Good for him.
So shout out to him. And they both seem like very high character guys as well.
I agree. I agree with that. Honestly, it has the thing too. Like, I feel like if we're at 3 or 4, our mind is kind of already made up, unless Monty is just not thinking like everybody's thinking. I feel like we're all like, it's not a bad pigeonhole to be in if we're 3 and 4, especially if Marvin Harrison Jr. falls to you. It's not a bad pigeonhole, but I feel like you're pigeonholed to pick the guy that everybody's like, oh, you have to. It's like if you're the number 1 overall spot, if you're there, people are like, well, you got to go quarterback. If you're not, you're an idiot. You know what I mean? Or you're going to trade back if you didn't need one. You're an idiot. So I feel like that's kind of a thing. It's like with Marvin Harrison Jr., I feel like we're pigeonholed to get him. And like I said, it's not a bad pigeonhole to be in. I'll take it in a heartbeat. But like, I don't want to feel confined to be like, you have to get him. Although he might be the guy. I don't know. I kind of feel a little weird about it. That's why I kind of want to win to see, because the Cardinals can still trade up. Now, can they get Marvin Harrison Jr.? Probably not. But like, they can still trade up if there's a guy that they really, really like an Olu Fashanu or Joel Ol, which he probably could fall to them then. So there's no point. But like, you never know, man. You never know.
The draft board, I don't know how it's going to fall. It's so strange. Like,
it is.
These games, you can't predict it, right? So it just falls where it falls. And after this, top 10 is solidified. And then you'll kind of have your answer right there. But I feel like both of these players, if we can end up with one of them, I'm going to be happy regardless. I will be so happy with Roma Dunze or Marvin Harrison. You just cannot miss out on either of them. If you miss out on both, I'm probably going to be insanely upset.
We got my guy Finesse Kid, and I think we got to do our due diligence. I think we've given so much love. We've given so much love on Marvin Harrison and Roma Dunze. I think we got to do our due diligence. We got to look into Malik Neighbors. I think it's time. We said this multiple times, and I think coming this offseason, we need to be able to really determine where the Cardinals should go. So let's do that. If I'm gonna make a
Oh
promise
yeah,
to the people in the chat, I'm gonna definitely do my homework and I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna put my actual
due
glasses on and
diligence.
do a fair
Because I'm
evaluation.
not gonna lie, I'm saying that. That's why I'm teeter tottering. Like he could be
Mhm.
good, he could not be, he could be okay. Like I'm not sure. I really haven't watched a ton of tape or film on him, and that's like the
Yeah,
one player. Roma Dunze, I have. Marvin Harrison, I have. I still feel like Marvin is consensus number one.
yeah, I agree
Injuries
with
kind
that.
of concerned me because he went down like 3 or 4 times, and it looked like he was gonna die, and then he bounced back up.
Yeah.
So that kind of concerned me just a little bit. But outside of that, I feel like he's the guy.
Okay.
But I need to definitely dive into Malik Neighbors a little bit.
Yeah,
Cannot lie.
I
Like
100%
I know
agree.
the stats are there, and he plays for LSU, so you think I would actually tune in, and he puts up numbers. So I don't
And
know.
they got the Heisman Trophy over there, throwing the ball to them, winner with Jaden Daniels. So let's go back a little bit in the draft of 2020 when we didn't know each other back then, but I think we were both kind of in the same wavelength. This comment right here might be the comment that we might be kicking ourselves if we don't get him. He says, "I feel like missing out on Marvin Harrison Jr. is like missing out on CD." What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like there is other talent here. It just depends where we allocate it. There
Yeah,
are receivers. You just got to walk away with one.
yeah,
Got to walk away with one. And if you don't, then it's going to suck because it feels like we're going to miss on everything. And the receiver position, we just absolutely whiffed. I feel like if you take any of these 3 receivers, it's not going to be like taking Rondale Moore in the second round.
Oh, don't even remind me. Oh,
It's not going to be like that. It's going to be like
Andy
you're
Isabella.
still, yeah. I don't understand that to this day. Like, oh my gosh, Andy Isabella wasn't even like that
He
though.
wasn't.
Like, was he a 3rd round pick?
If that, I don't know what I don't know
Second
what
pick?
Kime was doing. Do you remember Chad Williams that we got in the 3rd round?
Chad William, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was from like Gremlin State or Grimling State. I don't even know where he was from. Gremlins, I don't know. Steve Kime just needs to. He was just terrible, man. He was terrible.
You know who I was high on?
Who?
Like genuinely high on?
Who?
Hakeem Butler.
Oh no, me too. No, me too. I don't blame you. We got him in the 4th round, and we're like, oh my god, that's a steal. This man is huge. I was right there with you. I don't blame you for that one.
Hakeem Butler and DK Metcalf. I was like, I need one of them. I need one.
Unfortunately, we got the wrong one.
Yeah, fucking like DK Metcalf and Hakeem Butler. I was
Yeah.
so set.
Yeah.
Like I thought Hakeem Butler was a stud in college, and
Me
then
too. I'm not gonna
after
lie.
I like watched his tape or whatever, and I was like, yeah, Hakeem Butler's so solid. Then after I'm already sold on him, you hear him and Calvin Johnson are working out together, and I'm like even
Yeah.
more sold on him.
Yep.
He just never materialized, but he looks like a stud in the XFL or wherever he is, and
Yeah.
it's just like sometimes it just doesn't materialize, and the talent is there.
Isn't
And
that
it's just not
crazy?
there at the NFL level. It's kind of like that for all sports. You just like watch them
Yeah.
somewhere else and like watch them dominate like the G League and the NBA, or you watch them dominate the XFL or the CFL, and you're like, dang, the talent is there. And they come over and it just doesn't materialize. And they're still like a wide receiver 6, corner 6. And you're like, what is happening here? It
That
makes no sense. But like sometimes it's just the talent gap. There's sometimes their
Yeah.
thing doesn't fit because they're unwilling to buy into a certain system or actually play a certain role. Sometimes they just want to be that big guy when in reality they're a wide receiver 3 or a wide receiver
Right.
2. So sometimes it just doesn't materialize. And Hakeem Butler, I will admit, I whiffed. I whiffed.
Yeah. I mean, that happens. It happens to me all the time too. So I'm not gonna even lie. But yeah, that was the draft that we got 3 wide receivers, right? It was DJ. I'm not sorry. Wow. It was Andy Isabella,
Isabella, Hakeem
Butler,
Butler,
and
and then
Keyshawn Johnson, right?
Keyshawn in like the 6th round
Yeah,
or
right.
5th round.
And I
Yeah,
think a lot
that's
of
right.
people, yeah, Keyshawn Johnson. I remember a lot of people saying that Hakeem Butler. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was pretty hyped up about that too because we got him in the 4th round, and I was like, oh, it makes sense. That's cool. That's awesome. But it's crazy. It's really crazy.
Yeah, I whiffed. So did Kime though. So I'll admit it.
And he was the one that had to make the decision. That's the worst part.
Right.
All right. Okay, this one hurts too. Yeah, y'all just crucifying the Cardinals. The tackles we gave the Ravens for Hollywood going to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Isn't that wasn't it Linderbaum, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Tyler Linderbaum. And then I don't know. I don't even like discussing all this because it's Pro Bowler after Pro Bowler after Pro Bowler that we keep whiffing on.
Well, we also missed out on Creed Humphreys too, which is
That's
another
the player.
Kyler's guy.
That's the
Um,
guy.
I think he's in
Who's
the
also a Pro
Chiefs.
Bowler. I
Chiefs?
think so.
It's ridiculous, man. I just don't get it. Like, how does somebody have their job for that? And that's why I was so like that last year, before obviously the Monty Austin Ford and Jonathan Gannon regime, and I was just so pissed off. I was just like, how do you keep messing this up and keep having a job? It just was so frustrating to see it because even as fans, we're like, oh, this is the guy. You got to get this guy. Gets freaking Chad Williams, gets Andy Isabella. Like, what the flip are you doing?
I genuinely feel like he was too stubborn and there wasn't like a respect for Kyler, like genuinely to
yeah,
be like, okay, we're gonna build around you and listen to what you're saying because you know what you're talking about. I think he really felt the power hold that he's like, I'm the GM.
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
bring in who I want. Why would I
yeah.
listen to you? Like, even if this is the like, I don't know. I feel like he's like, even if this is the player that you want, not gonna happen. Like, oh, Creed Humphrey, oh, he was on my board too, but not anymore. Like, I feel like he just had like such a power hold. Like, even if that's not what happened, I feel like he just had such a power hold that he's like,
It's
yeah, I want Creed Humphrey. Like, okay, out or in one ear, out the other, like instantly. I feel like he really didn't care what Kyler said and was just like, yeah, you know what? We're gonna go do something else. We're gonna go do
man.
something else. We're gonna go take this linebacker from Tulsa.
The
Like, what
oh,
are we
Zaven,
doing? What are we
Zaven,
doing? It
and
makes no sense.
I feel so bad for these players too, and I don't think it's all the players' fault. Like I feel like it's well, I mean, there's a little fault to them. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
there's fault, but like it's very unfortunate, man. Like Zaven, I remember being so upset about that pick as well. And people were like, "Oh, he's big. He's gonna be a monster." Isaiah and Zaven, watch out, next best linebacking duo. And I was like, "Okay, it sounds sweet, right? Sounds great on paper, but like, just never materialized to do it, man." And obviously, Isaiah Simmons in 2020 kind of was just like the start of the oh boy, here we go again. Now, granted, Isaiah Simmons, when we drafted him, I wasn't mad. I was like, okay, sweet, Swiss Army knife, let's go. It's just the Cardinals just never knew how to use him. That's just when it came down to it. We never had him a solid spot, and he never flourished in that solid spot. So he kept moving around, and it never worked out for him. So this is what it is.
Nah, and it's not working in New York either. He makes one play every like 6 games, just
Yeah.
like he did.
Yeah, it is what it is at this moment. All right, let's do this. We're gonna end the stream here. We're not gonna go the full hour this time just because not very much to talk about. But let's do this. Last
Seahawks,
prediction:
Cardinals.
Cardinals versus Seahawks. Give me your last prediction right now. I know we did it on Wednesday, but I gave you a couple days to sleep it. What are your thoughts now?
I'm a rock. I want to flip it. I really do. I just want to say the Cardinals are going to win. I want to flip it. So I'm going to do it. Why not? Why not? I've been teeter-tottering back and forth. I said the Seahawks are going to win. And we're going to rock Cardinals, man. 24-21. 24-21.
Oh, I like 24-21. I like that. We said this before. I think it's going to come down to the run game at the end of the day. I think the Cardinals will pull this off because the Cardinals are riding confidence right now. We are so high right now. Not literally, but like the confidence, we're riding that high. So I think the Cardinals will win and beat the Seahawks and crush their dreams. I'm going to say 28-17. Cardinals are going to have a chokehold on that run game, and I think James Conner is going to go wild.
Yeah, he can eclipse 1,000 on the season with this game. He needs like 110.
I think he wants it. And he should want it. I'm excited to have another 1,000-yard running back on our team. And James Conner is great, man. He's a wonderful dude. He's awesome. Great player.
Absolutely.
All right. Y'all, appreciate you guys for tuning in. We do got some predictions coming in. We got Robert saying 28-21 Cards. We got this as let's beat them. Screw the Seahawks. We will win. Kyler's going to upset them. Kyler will end up at 4-4, which would be a lot of people, shut him up, including myself. So that's great. And we got my guy says, hope James gets his 1,000 yards. I agree with that. We got Outlaw. Happy late birthday. I know it was your birthday earlier this week. It says 28-14 Cards. Love it. Love it. The momentum is crazy right now. All right. Let's close up shop. Any last thoughts for you, Mythic, before we close up shop?
That's going to do it, man. I'm excited. And after this week and playoffs are over, we are going to dive into so much off-season mock drafts. We're going to have it all. So if you guys are interested in any of that, man, subscribe, liked it, We're gonna be going crazy in the
Yeah.
offseason. I'm excited.
Me too. And this Monday we're gonna find out our draft stuff.
Order.
Hopefully the Texans lose and they don't go to the playoffs, because if they do, that's just gonna make it worse and worse. But like, we're gonna know what our pick is, and I think that's one of the most exciting things to me. Where are we going to pick? You know, is it 4? Is it 3? Is the Patriots going to upset the Jets? We're gonna find out here in the next couple of days. So I'm super, super stoked. All right, y'all. Thank you so very much for tuning in. As always, if you guys haven't already smacked the like button, definitely do me a huge favor. Smack it up. Do it for the algorithm. Let other Cardinal fans know that we go live here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And here is the schedule moving forward, and continuing in the off season as well. Appreciate you guys here for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. Now, go Cards.